Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I am your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka the Realist Astrologer. And tonight I'm going to get into the dark-sided Aquarius female video. I know some of you have been waiting patiently for this video, so thank you for your patience and let's get started. So I'm going to post the disclaimer to the left about basically it's saying that this is for those women who are dark-sided Aquarians. Basically, if you're dark-sided, that means that you tend to be very disagreeable, you tend to be the cause of conflicts, and basically you're very unapologetic when it comes to doing people wrong. So let's get started. So first and foremost, the dark-sided Aquarius female can be very unfeeling, unemotional. Sometimes you wonder if they're really human. They can be cold, heartless, and again, like I said, they are barely human at times, but they could be so much fun to be around. Who wouldn't want to be around an alien? The dark side Aquarius female is disloyal. I don't care what the books say. A lot of astrology books say that Aquarius is a loyal sign. That's bullshit. Don't believe it. Basically, the dark side Aquarius female tends to put friends before family. She may even put strangers ahead of family at times. The dark side Aquarius female is naturally rebellious. She believes that she should be the exception to the rule. She's always ready to start a protest, and she's never satisfied with the status quo. The dark-sided Aquarius female doesn't naturally respect anyone regardless of age or status. She will curse her mama out. Grandma and grandpa can get it too if they want to go there. They will put no one on a pedestal, and that's that egalitarian shit that they deal with. Everyone can be gotten in their mind. Friends, friends, friends. They're all about their friends, but don't let that friendly, sociable nature fool you. The dark-sided ones are often opportunistic when it comes to making friends. They will make friends to their own benefit, so a lot of times you think this Aquarian friend digs you just for who you are, but oftentimes it's what you could do for them. Like if she doesn't have a car and you do, for instance. Or it could deal with where you could take them in life, status-wise. So the dark side Aquarius female, she'll have real friends and then friends, which are essentially their gophers on the low. She will use certain friends as a means to an end. Their kindness really means nothing. The dark side Aquarius female will collect friends and will put them in certain boxes. She will make friends very easily, so don't be surprised if she pops up on the scene one day with this new friend and you just have to roll with the punches. And you better not get an attitude because she'll call you right out in front of the new friend. And again, it deals with their egalitarian nature. So they don't put one friend above the other, or in terms of outward appearances, they don't do that. But they will put certain friends into certain categories. Also, the dark side Aquarius female likes to play social experiments with her friends. So let me give you an example. So your Aquarian friend will introduce you and another friend to the same dude and sit back to see which one of y'all will win him over at the end of the day. And she won't choose sides either. She'll be rooting for the both of you, and the two of you won't be any the wiser. So you know that Hunger Games movie? That's very Aquarian. Aquarians, they need friends so much. Basically, the dark-sided ones will feel like they're dying if they don't have any friends. And also, they also need some type of social cause to fight for, because the dark side Aquarius female, she tends to feel empty inside without being part of something bigger. Now, on her own, she tends to lack personality, so she'll tend to cling to friends as a model for how to be. And remember, she's more of an alien than a human, so the more friends she has, the better. And that teaches her how to assimilate to the ways of earthlings. Now, they say Aquarius is about group associations and that Aquarius is very egalitarian. Now, for the dark-sided Aquarius female, if she is not leading or directing the group, she will create conflict, dissension, and rebellion within that group. She is no stranger to hostile takeovers. Now, when someone tries to call dark-sided Aquarius chick out on her shit, she'll take a hard line, I don't give a fuck approach. Rarely is she apologetic when she's called out on her inconsiderate behavior, or if she's told how she's hurt someone's feelings. Dark side Aquarius females are big time instigators. So, like, they'll be saying stuff like, are you going to let her get away with talking to you like that? If that was me, I would let her have it. Or, look, she's throwing major shade at you. Then she might even get in the person's face and be like, excuse me, are you throwing shade at my friend? Instigating stuff. Big time instigators. They will incite a riot. They will dip out when no one's looking, escaping unscathed. So they're agent provocateurs. Another dark side of Aquarius trait is they tend to be big bullies, especially in their younger years. And my oldest daughter is an Aquarius, and she has, especially younger, she had a lot of dark-sided traits. So one of the main things that she would do was bully her younger sibling. So that would piss me off. But yeah, they always want to be in control, but they'll do it in a nice, friendly way. But when they can't get their way, they'll turn really tyrannical. Now, when it comes to love and romance, the dark side of Aquarius chick can be aloof, distant, and emotionally detached. She doesn't respond well to love and affection. The dark side of Aquarius female has a huge sense of entitlement. She doesn't believe she has to pay for service that isn't perfect. She will send back food at restaurants over the slightest error. Now, for those of you who work in the restaurant industry, you know those people that are constantly sending their food back. Those women that find the slightest bit wrong with their food or whatever, or it's not hot enough, or I don't like the way this sauce tastes. Can you change it? Or I don't like this. Can you take it back? Can I get something else? More than likely, 95% of those women are dark-sided Aquarians. They're never satisfied. They tend to be spoiled rotten, so that goes along with that. They will try to get a lot of shit for free. Again, it's that huge sense of entitlement. And they do tend to get money really easily. They are money magnets, and then they tend to use this to their advantage. Now, the dark side of Aquarius, she's very friendly and engaging on the surface, but they are really cold-blooded deep down inside. Another thing about the dark side of Aquarius female is she tends to be the other woman, or she just somehow happens to end up with a married man. She is famous for breaking up relationships, and actually that's part of Aquarius' cosmic purpose, to pull people out of unhealthy relationships. So actually when they do that, they're actually doing something that comes naturally to them, but the dark side of Aquarius female will do it to her own benefit. And she has no shame or no qualms about messing with a married man or a man that's in a committed relationship. She is often a catalyst for breakups and divorce. Now, when it comes to relationships and marriage, she has to wear the pants. So she has a tendency to go after passive men, men that she can dominate. She attracts the kind of man who will treat her like she's too good for this world. And I've seen that so many times with Aquarius women, like they will get with a man that will kiss their feet, that will do everything for them, that will bend over backwards for them, and they still won't appreciate them. The dark side of Aquarius female tends to lack passion, warmth and enthusiasm when with respect to love and romance. She takes a very rational, maybe even scientific approach to love. Now about her wardrobe, oftentimes it's too coordinated. So remember that movie Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, and the father came by and he was like, you got to coordinate. You got to coordinate. That makes me think of the dark side of Aquarius female. So sometimes their outfits are a bit too coordinated. Like they'll have if it's a plaid theme, everything down to the earrings and the socks will have some element of plaid. So sometimes they just go overboard, and they can tend to have some type of like space age uniform look going on that they put together themselves. A lot of them tend to love bold, bright colors. Now, remember back in the mid-'80s, that neon day glow look was really popular? Well, that's very 80s. And actually, in the mid-'80s, Jupiter was in Aquarius. So there you go right there. The dark side Aquarius female will spend a boatload of money on cosmetics and beauty tools. They are really into the technology aspect of beauty. And when it comes to their hair, they tend to have those icicle hairdos where it's short and choppy and sticking up all over their head. Like, they're famous for that. And they love to dye their hair. So they dye their hair often because they're all about change and reinventing their look. And again, it goes back to their alien-like personas. So a lot of times they really don't know how to be human. So they might go through a lot of changes with their hairstyles or their hair color. Just think about Anita Baker when I'm talking about that short haircut that's very Aquarian. Now, she's an Aquarius. Anita Baker was a popular singer in the 80s and the 90s. Now, she's an Aquarius, and just think about that popular Anita Baker haircut that she had that created a trend, and a lot of women were getting their hair cut like that. One thing about Aquarius is they are the trendsetters of the zodiac, so she definitely set that trend. But if you really think about the way Anita Baker looks, now she's not dark-sided, but she does have that kind of like alien look, and then when she would be singing, like she'd be rocking from back and forth, and I'd be like, what the hell's going on with her? So yeah, she has like that weird alien thing going on with her. But I just wanted to relate that to that short hairstyle. So Aquarians are really famous for that short cropped hairstyle, but some of the dark sided ones can take it to the extreme, and they're always getting their hair done. Another thing, they don't like to do their own hair, so they might spend a lot of money going to the hair salon. They think they're too good to do their own hair. Also, yeah, so like I said, hair always has to be professionally done. My mother, for instance, she's an Aquarius, and growing up, she didn't like to do her own hair, so she would often make me do her hair before she went out to the club. So, sometimes she would pay me, sometimes she wouldn't. But her hair was always looking tight when I did it because I really didn't have any choice because dark side Aquarius don't play. Not saying my mom was dark sided, but she just had that she don't play persona, so I knew I had to get her hair right. Again, like I said, dark side Aquarius is never satisfied. They have a huge sense of entitlement. I can't say this enough. They are never satisfied with the status quo or the way things are. They can have nasty mouths when they're angry. They will tell you the truth in the absolute worst way. Again, they love to say, I don't give a fuck. And they love to play the divorce card when they're married. So they love to throw out, I want a divorce. I'm divorcing you. Now, just like Scorpio, the dark side Aquarius female can be a big time cheater. She basically comes in second to Scorpio. And unlike Scorpio, though, the dark side Aquarius female will not have any qualms or shame about cheating on her man or her husband. Now, the dark side Aquarius female tends to be very uncompromising when it comes to getting her way. She is stubborn as all get out. And I've never known an Aquarian to give in unless she's being tortured within an inch of her life. So don't think that you're going to get her to compromise when it's something that she really wants to do or something that she feels strongly about. It's not happening. The dark-sided Aquarius female tends not to appreciate displays of love and affection. I think I kind of touched on that already. She sees it as a sign of weakness. She could be crass, crude, manly, uncouth, and hard to subdue once she gets started. Don't get her started. She'll fart in front of her man, burp loudly, goes to the bathroom with the door wide open. Dark side Aquarius females, a lot of them don't have any decorum or decency when behind closed doors, and some of them don't have any decorum or decency when in public. Some of them are just plain weird, odd, quirky, and detached from reality. Again, like I said, they're very alien-like. And some of them like to engage in shocking behavior from time to time just to get attention. Now, in terms of motherhood, the dark side Aquarius female can be one of the worst in terms of just not being nurturing. Now, Aquarius and Cancer is a sign of motherhood, are very incompatible signs. So Aquarian mothers tend to lack that nurturing, caring persona that's needed to be basically needed to be a successful mother. Not saying that Aquarians can't be successful mothers, but it may be a challenge for them. They tend to do pretty good with babies, and that's because babies are kind of like dolls. But when the child starts to get older and starts to have a mind of their own, that's when the tyrant in them takes over, and it's either their way or the highway. They could be bullies as mothers. Case in point, I was scared shitless of my mother growing up. Like, all she had to do was give me that cold, hard stare, and I knew to get myself in line. So yeah, the dark side Aquarius the dark side Aquarius mother does not play. And when you mess up, you'll know you done fucked up because they'll get that real serious tone, and they'll be very unemotional, and they might call you up while they're still at work, and might be like, when I get home, you better make sure that house is completely cleaned up, and I'm going to go upside your head. And that will strike the fear of God within you. They tend to have zero tolerance policies with respect to their children, and they refuse to be diplomatic. However, they can be fun parents, and sometimes They can be a little too truthful when it comes to the facts of life. They tend to just lay it out there and not be, not really care about the child, being too young maybe to understand certain sexual concepts and stuff. So sometimes they don't understand that they need to teach children in stages. Sometimes they'll throw it all at the children and say, because I learned about sex from a very early age, earlier than what I thought I was supposed to be taught that. But with Aquarius, it's all about this is how it is, deal with it. Now, the dark side of Aquarius female as children, they can be some of the most incorrigible little fuckers, self-entitled little brats. They'll act all sweet on the surface until you go against their will. They can be natural bullies when it comes to their siblings and schoolmates. Corporal punishment usually produces little to no effect because they lack that emotional component. And as teens, they can be some of the worst to raise. Trust me, I know. I raised a teenage Aquarius daughter. Totally rebellious, disrespectful, and extremely willful. Basically, you got to get an Aquarian child in line from birth, or it's a lost cause if they're dark-sided. In terms of love and romance, the dark-sided Aquarius female can be very opportunistic. She'll get with a dude that looks like Fat Albert if he has money. He could look like a Klingon, and she'll still be with him if he's giving her his paycheck. Another thing about the dark-sided Aquarius female, she likes to be naked. Aquarius is the nudist of the zodiac. And I've seen my own mother naked more times than I like to admit. Nudity is not a sexual thing for them, however. It's because they have no shame. And again, it goes back to that alien nature that they have. They just don't have any shame. Also, again, like I said, they're naturally rebellious. They could be rebel rousers. And they could also be natural race baiters. So just think about Stacey Dash and Omarosa. Some of them will even want to pass for white. There's this Aquarius actress. I think she's dead now, but her name is Carol Channing. And she does look white. But at the end of her career, she decided to reveal. She was basically like, oh, by the way, I'm black. So after she got, all the acclaim and accolades from her career and she got all the money and stuff, that's when she decided to come out the closet and admit that she's black. So the dark side of Aquarius can be a turncoat in that respect. And again, it's about that disloyalty. You really can't trust them. Now, in terms of sexuality, the dark side of Aquarius is either a stone cold freak, where she may like to frequent swingers clubs. Role playing can get out of hand. A lot of those chicks that are into like the furries and the unicorn play, those are Aquarians. They are attracted to men who are into cuckolding. Basically, that means that a man wants to see his woman get fucked by another dude and he gets turned on by it. That's very Aquarian. Also, other forms of humiliation. She may even want to get into a little role reversal where she gets a strap on and tells her man to bite the pillow. They're one of the best at faking orgasms, just like Leo women. And when I say freak, I also mean freak in the weird sense of the word. So they tend to get turned on by weird shit, like the way a dude eats or the way he ties his shoes. Simple shit. Like, she may like to lick the boogers out of his nose, or she might get off on popping his blackhead. She could be downright perverse at times. She might like to pull his ingrown hairs and shit. And like some of those cappies, she might like to partake in a little booty patrol as well. Now, they also have a problem taking a submissive role in the bedroom unless they are frigid or the cold fish type who are just in it for convenience. And then some of them are just damn near asexual. Again, it goes back to that alien persona thing they got with them. They can be straight frigid. And if she's in a marriage or relationship of convenience, this can be especially the case. And she prefers those type. They prefer sex that's just, wham bam, thank you ma'am, so she can get up and go shopping or do whatever else she could do with that man's money. Now, when it's time to get intimate, she could be downright goofy. Just think about that chick Amy Schumer in the movie Trainwreck. To me, that's dark side of Aquarius all day. So think about the scene after her and that dude had sex. Not the wrestler guy, but the geeky guy. And she was all touchy and she wanted to go home right away. She didn't want to cuddle. She was all uncomfortable. She said to him, she was like, if I stay here, can we sleep in a realistic position? Because I'm a light sleeper and if I feel you move or sweat or breathe, I'll just wake up lying here resenting you. Actually, could we put this pillow between us? So again, it's that never satisfied, uptight, self-entitled nature, can't be intimate, has a hard time, relaxing and being able to cuddle and just they lack that emotional quotient. So they just have a hard time relating to people in terms of that emotional sexual way. And to be very sexual, you got to put your emotions into it. So that's why a lot of them can be frigid. Now, the dark side Aquarius female, they tend to attract homosexual, bi, and down low men because a lot of them have homosexual tendencies on the low themselves. Oprah, for one. Now, Oprah tried to play the role for many years that she was with that Stedman, but Stedman was just her beard, basically. And everybody knows who's in the know that Gayle King has been her lover for many years. Now, if the dark side Aquarius female denies this homosexual tendencies within herself, she will tend to project it onto the men that she dates or marries. I've known of a few Aquarian women who have got with down low men only to find out that they were gay after the fact. The dark side Aquarius female may also have weird eating habits. She could be very picky about food or the kind of food that, or she might just eat like a truck driver or a linebacker, but she might be very thin at the same time. Like, they got weird eating habits. And also they have a tendency to put on a lot of weight if they're not careful. And that's, again, it deals with Aquarians not really being in touch with that human side. So a lot of times when it comes to their bodies has a tendency to become amorphous if they're not careful, if they don't keep up on working out. Now, when it comes to home design, they tend to gravitate towards that sterile, minimalist, institutional look, which can get annoying after a while. And they could be one of the signs that can be truly evil due to detachment from the human experience and, again, from their emotions. So like I said, I can't say this enough. The dark side Aquarius female, she's very alien-like at times, and that's how she could be so cold-hearted and have so much evil intent, because she doesn't have that human connection. Now, they say in astrology that Aquarius is like the most human sign of the zodiac. But I really think they mean inhuman, because to be human, you have to be in touch with your emotions, and you have to have that to be able to relate to another on an emotional level. And a lot of times they just can't do that. Now, let me just throw out some famous dark side Aquarians. You got Kenya Moore from the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Basically, she likes to start shit. She's a rebel rouser. And I really believe she was fucking around with Apollo, even though she likes to deny it. Now, Phaedra, Apollo's woman, that's his ex now. They got a divorce. But Phaedra is a Scorpio. And let me tell you something about Scorpio versus Aquarius. Aquarius is the one sign that Scorpio fears. So remember that. Oprah, she's a little dark side because she has been on the down low for so many years with, Gayle King using Stedman Graham as her beard. And also times she could come across as being very cold. She tends to be opportunistic. She tends to be kind of phony at times. Stacey Dash, again, with the disloyalty. She tends to be rebellious. She likes to start shit. She's not loyal to her race whatsoever. Alicia Keys. Now, Alicia Keys, while she's not totally dark-sided, she did get with Swiss Beats when he was married to Mashonda. And the thing about Alicia Keys, in true Aquarian fashion, she basically imposes herself in Mashonda's life by forcing her to be friends with her and Swiss Beats, despite everything that's going down. Mia Farrow, she's an old school actor. She played in that movie Rosemary's Baby. But she is a dark side Aquarius, not totally dark sided, because she has done some good things like adopting all those kids. However, when she was with Woody Allen, she knew that he was molesting one of their adopted daughters. I think her name was Soon Yi or something like that. Because she found pornographic pictures that he took. She still stayed married to him for a while after that. So, yeah, that's dark side on her part, getting with a perverted man. So she projected her perverse ways onto him. Paris Hilton is another dark-sided Aquarius. Just think about all those pics that she has with her cooch hanging out, and she has a huge sense of entitlement, and she looks like an alien. Zsa Zsa Gabor is an old school actress. She had a huge sense of entitlement, and she was known for slapping that cop during that traffic stop. Lisa Marie Presley was married to Michael Jackson, and she did that so that she could have her father rolling around in his grave. Her father was Elvis Presley, who was very racist, so he would have had a heart attack if he knew that she married Michael Jackson. So I believe she did that just to rebel, even to get at her father while he was 6 feet under. Brandy. Brandy has some dark side Aquarius traits, namely in the fact that she killed that person. I believe it was almost like a hit and run or something, and she got caught up with it. And she really seemed like she didn't give two fucks about it. And she passed that mysterious note to Whitney Houston right before Whitney Houston's death. So I'm like really questioning Brandy's loyalty. Is she a Judas goat or what? And also Omarosa Manigault. She's a shit starter, very disagreeable, entitled, straight up bitch. She was on The Apprentice. And Janice Dickinson, she's that crazy, she calls herself the first supermodel. She's crazy, has a crude, crass mouth, is just very tyrannical, very disagreeable. Sarah Palin, dark side Aquarius politician. She's just kooky and crazy. Yoko Ono, she's another crazy kooky one. So that's my take on the dark side Aquarius female video. Hopefully you found this enlightening and insightful. Please feel free to add some comments at the bottom. If you have any experience with a dark side Aquarius female, I'd love to hear about it. Stay tuned for the last video of my dark sided zodiac series. It will be the dark-sided Pisces female video. I'm saving the worst for last. Just kidding. But I will definitely post that before the end of this year. Peace and many blessings.